that the other day. 30 Nigerians were killed in Igho in Plateau State. Mowed down in broad daylight on a Palm Sunday when Christians were celebrating Palm Sunday. It's almost like what happened on October 7 between Israel and Hamas, when the Israelis were celebrating the Yom Kippur festival, on October 7. Hamas invaded and killed about 1,200 Israelis and kidnapped and abducted others, took them across the border. It is the same thing that happened in Nigeria. The difference is that the Israeli response was almost unanimous. Today, Gaza is in ruins. It has been leveled. And Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, promised the Israelis that Hamas will ever live to remember October 7, a day that they made the mistake of crossing the border into Israel to kill Israeli citizens and abduct them. We are witnesses to what has happened to Hamas. Their leaders have been eliminated, along with innocent people anyway, because that is just what it is, collateral damage. Buildings, entire areas have been leveled. In the case of Nigeria, how have we responded? The president flew to Jos, sat in the airport, and told bereaved mothers, parents, to come and see him. That is not alone. He said he had only 1 hour 30 minutes. 10 minutes, yes. I'm even giving him a lot of benefit. 10 minutes. And that because there was no light in the airport. A president speaking to citizens who lost their loved ones. We also saw the visuals of a mother clutching the bloody remains of her only son. That woman was also part of those who went to the airport to see President Tinubu. And all the president could tell that woman and all of the Nigerian citizens who lost loved ones on that day was I had 10 minutes for them. And he flew back. The governor himself, Caleb Mutfwang, governor of Plateau State, it took him 4 days to visit Igho, the epicenter of where the killings took place. He rode there in an armored personnel carrier. He only brought out his head to speak to bereaved families. It was when protests erupted that he managed to come out of. So this managed to come out of the armored car. So these are the kind of leaders we have, the crop of leaders we now have in the country. Don't also forget that Caleb Mutfwang has defected from the PDP also to the ruling party, the APC. So generally speaking, the security situation in Nigeria now is dicey. Nobody feels safe anymore. Investors are worried. People are disturbed. Nobody's sure of himself. Entire communities and villages have been swept off. Taxes are being paid to terrorists now. Terrorists are holding swaths of territory, whether it's Sokoto, in Katsina, in Zamfara, in Kaduna. Yes, I said earlier, Ubasani has done very well in Kaduna. I remember when former Governor El-Rufai was there. Sata Kaduna was a killing field. Almost every day, Nigeria is relished with stories of how entire communities were wiped out by terrorists. And El-Rufai did nothing about it. For the very first time in the history of that state, he introduced a Muslim ticket. And he was among those who encouraged Tinubu that if Nigeria runs a Muslim ticket, nothing will happen. Heavens will not fall. Today, again, breaking the records historically, we now have a president who brazenly picked a Muslim as a vice president. And for more than 3 years now, they are in power. What has happened? Can you imagine if it were to be a Christian president who also picked a Christian as vice president? I'm sure you will not be sitting down here, to discuss, to hold this conversation. But I think Southern Nigeria mostly, particularly Christians in Nigeria, have been very quiet, very tolerant, very peaceful, Christians are being beheaded all over the place. It's not about the politics of saying, no, nobody should talk about it. The reality on ground is that more Christians have been killed in Nigeria. More Christian communities have been wiped out. Look at Benue State. Almost 5 local governments, they are in IDP camps. People can no longer go to farm. Benue State is the food basket of Nigeria. Yet we have a president who sits down and behaves as if nothing is happening. Look at Zamfara State. Look at what is happening all over the country. Look at Sokoto, even the seat of the caliphate. It took the Americans to come and even bomb Nigeria from Ghana, sending Tomahawk missile from Ghana to bomb terrorists, Lakurawa terrorists, at the back of the Sultan of Sokoto. It is almost like when that bombing took place, it reminded me of what happened to Osama bin Laden, who was living right in the most secured area in Pakistan, Abbottabad in Pakistan. It took the Americans, good intelligence, to fish him out. Landed there, took him out, killed him, and today America is living in peace. But yet we have the Sultan of Sokoto, who presides over a religion they call religion of peace. Yet terrorists were right in his backyard, Lakurawa terrorists. He took the Americans far away in Ghana through intelligence, using their Reaper drone to discover that right in Sokoto, terrorists have a big operational base, plan their terrorism from there, and attack and kill innocent Nigerians. So, overall, if you look at how our approach to even fighting insecurity and terrorism in Nigeria is like a slap in the wrist. Look at what the Chief of Defense Staff said. When Oluyede was appointed as the Chief of Defense Staff, I was excited. I thought that, because looking at his frame, very tall, he's almost a 7-footer, he has an intimidating stature. You think this is a military officer who is coming to wipe out these ragtag individuals overnight. Today, under his nose, terrorism has increased. Even look at the former Chief of Defense, who is now Minister of Defense, General Christopher Gwabin Musa. What has he done? It's not about just moving from your khaki to civilian dress, and then you see all the nice things that people want to hear, and nothing is being done. So I think what is happening is that what Jonathan told us before he left power is what is bedeviling Nigerians at the moment. The real terrorism sponsors, financiers, are in government. Jonathan said it himself, that they are in the government. Who are those individuals who are in government? Why is it that every Nigerian president is afraid to name, shame, and expose terrorism sponsors and financiers? They are right in the government. They live amongst us. What exactly did the Igbos do in 1967 before Nigeria declared a war against the Igbos in 1967? The Igbos never embarked on massive killing of other Nigerians, beheading people recklessly, mindlessly, the way the Fulanis are doing in Nigeria, because it's time to name people, without stereotyping an ethnic group. The majority of these terrorists are from that ethnic stock. And that is the truth. They have exported these mindless killings, mindless brigandage to other regions, to other states of Nigeria. Whether it is now they are in the southwest, they are in the south-south, and they're also in the southeast. And that is why I asked the question, what exactly was the sin of the Igbos in 1967 that made Nigeria to declare a war on the southeast? The late Emeka Odumegu Ojukwu, saw that the Igbos were being slaughtered, also being beheaded in the north, slaughtered in broad daylight. And in defense of his Igbo people, He asked them to return home, and he declared the region, the southeast region, Biafra, in an attempt to protect that region from further killings and broad-day murder. There was so much injustice in 1967, but what did the rest of Nigerians do? They mobilized themselves and levied war against the southeast. That war was fought for 3 years, with close to 2 million Igbos, including people, Christians and Southerners, losing their lives in that war. So what is Nigeria waiting for before they declare war on these individuals who are no longer hiding? They are doing videos, collecting ransoms. You know, the monies are all over the place. They are flaunting it in our faces, flaunting sophisticated weapons, RPGs, aircraft guns, anti-aircraft guns, AK-47 rifles. They even tell you where their locations are. So it's not about we are fighting asymmetric warfare. This war is no longer asymmetric.
From what you're saying, are you aligning yourself with those who say that President Tinubu is completely disconnected from the economic and security realities in the country?
He knows he's disconnected. He knows it. He knows it's not on ground. First, he started saying, "Oh, what is happening is like a pang of pain. A woman who wants to give birth, his insecurity will go away, economic hardship will go away." But it is deepening. He's completely disconnected. He has built a wall. He has fenced himself in. Why is it that all his policies are anti-people, anti-Nigerians? Can anybody tell me one policy that this president has enunciated that is pro-people, that is to the benefit of Nigerians? Is it his tax policies? Is it the NER fund? What is the impact of NER fund? A few individuals, a few students have access to loan. They go to the university. What is the guarantee now? What are the jobs that Tinubu has created that when you access NER fund, graduate, you come and work? Or is it Nigerians that are now jackpotting to other countries? Look how Nigerians are being killed in South Africa. What a shame. And nobody is saying anything. If not for this young woman, Bianca Ojukwu, who was recently appointed as the Foreign Affairs Minister, there was nobody in the government that was protecting Nigerians in diaspora. But we can see what that woman is doing. She's engaging properly, engaging efficiently. The former Foreign Affairs Minister, Yusuf Tuga, was just like a dress rehearsal. It was Nigeria had no Foreign Affairs Minister.
All right, let's go to activism. There is a feeling among members of the public that activism in Nigeria ended with defeat of PDP in 2015 election, and that what we have seen afterwards is nothing near activism. For example, in 2014, activists stood on the streets demanding Jonathan respect democratic norms. Fast forward to 2026 now, this government has reportedly done worse by Nigerians' calculation, but the activists are not seen to be doing enough to check this government.
I will answer you straight away. If you look at what is happening, what Tinubu is doing, Tinubu simply is reenacting the playbook of Joseph Stalin, the ruthless Russian dictator, who used a particular tactic and strategy: amass wealth, keep the people hungry, starve them sufficiently, and then they can grovel at crumbs falling from your table. That's exactly the playbook. Babangida, when he was military head of state of Nigeria, used the playbook of Machiavelli. Divide and rule, play the people against themselves, and all of that. Pretend as if, you are establishing institutions. Today, nobody is even talking about the proceeds, the daily proceeds coming from subsidy removal. So, all of this humongous wealth is being held by a few individuals in this government, preparatory to deploying these resources to buy the minds and consciences of Nigerians who are already impoverished, pauperized, and have been kept in hunger. So, when they dangle the crumbs for you Because you are so hungry, so deprived. If you have no conscience, you want to accept it and then grovel at their feet. So many of, I don't want to mention names here. People who were in the trenches with us, where are they today? They've joined the government. People whose voices were very loud in 2014, why are their voices silent now? Where are the clergy? The church is the worst culprit. The church collaborated with activists in 2014, marching in Ojota, shouting that Jonathan was clueless. Nigeria is being taken over by terrorists. Where are the church leaders now? I also don't want to mention names. They know themselves. We live in this country, but everybody must not forget that the day of reckoning is coming when we face the Lord, our God, our Maker. Whether you amass all the wealth today, you will go with nothing.